Now we need to write remainders as decimals. So first we have 12 divided by 5. We can write that out as a short division, and 12 divided by 5 is 2, remainder 2. So we can write 2 in our answer line, but we don't yet have anywhere to write our remainder to. So what we can do is extend our dividend with a point 0, and we can do that because 12.0 is the same as 12. We haven't changed the question, but now we can copy up the decimal point into our answer and write the remainder 2 in front of our tenths digit. So now 20 divided by 5 is exactly 4, so our answer is 2.4. So we know that 12 divided by 5 is 2 remainder 2. All we did here to get our remainder as a decimal is extend the dividend with a point 0, copy the decimal point up into our answer, and write the remainder in front of the 0, so in front of the tenths digit. And our answer of 2.4 also makes sense if you know how to write remainders as fractions. 12 divided by 5 is 2 remainder 2, so as a fraction we can write the remainder as our numerator, and then the denominator is the number that we're dividing by. So as a fraction our remainder is 2/5. But we know about equivalent fractions, so we know that 2/5 is the same as 4/10, and that's why when we're writing the remainder as a decimal we get 4/10 in our answer. Now we have 19 divided by 4. We can write it out as a short division. 19 divided by 4 is 4 remainder 3. We can write the 4 in our answer line, but in order to write the remainder 3, we need to extend our dividend with a point 0. We can do that because 19.0 is the same as 19. But now we need to copy up the decimal point into our answer. And remember, 19 divided by 4 is 4 remainder 3, so we can write the remainder 3 in front of our tenths digit. So now we have 30 divided by 4. That gives us a remainder as well. 30 divided by 4 is 7 remainder 2. So we can write the 7, but in order to write the remainder 2, we can extend our dividend not with a point 0, because we can only ever have one decimal point in a number, but with a 0 going into the hundredths. And we can do that because 19.00 is the same as 19. But now we have somewhere to write our remainder to. So now 20 divided by 4 is exactly 5 with no remainder, so our answer is 4.75. So 19 divided by 4 is 4 remainder 3, and as a fraction we write that 4 3/4 with the remainder as the numerator and the denominator as the divisor. But 4 3/4 is the same as 4.75 because 3/4 is 0.75 as a decimal. Finally, we have 11 divided by 2. We can write out our short division, and 11 divided by 2 is 5 remainder 1. So we can write our 5, extend with a point 0, copy the decimal point up into our answer, and write the remainder 1 in front of our tenths digit. So now we have 10 divided by 2, which is 5 with no remainder, so our answer is 5.5. So 11 divided by 2 is 5 remainder 1, so we wrote the 5 in our answer line and the remainder 1 in front of our tenths digit after we'd written point 0 on the end of our dividend. And that makes sense because as a fraction 11 divided by 2 is 5 1/2 because the remainder is the numerator and the denominator is the divisor, the number that you're dividing by. But we know that 1/2 as a decimal is 0.5 because 1/2 is equivalent to 5/10. So that's why when writing the remainder as a decimal we have 5/10 in our answer. So let's look at this first question. We had 12, so I've shown 1 10 and 2 1s, and we were dividing by 5, so we're going to split what we have into 5 groups. Now first, we need to change the 1 10 into 10 1s, so we have 12 1s. We can share out 10 of those 1s with 2 in each group, so that's why we have 2 in the ones digit of our answer line. But then, what we can do is exchange 1 whole for 10 tenths, and if we do that with both of our 1s, that gives us 20 tenths. So then, when we share out the 20 tenths between the 5 groups, we have 4 tenths in each group, so that's why we have 4 tenths in our answer. Then we had 19 divided by 4, so that's 1 10 and 9 1s, and we're splitting those into 4 groups. First, we can exchange our 10 for 10 1s, so that we have 19 1s. Now we can share out 16 of those 1s with 4 in each group, so that's why we have 4 in the ones digit of our answer line. But then we have a remainder 3, and instead of thinking remainder 3 1s, we can change those 1s into 10 tenths, and if we do that with all 3 of them, that gives us 30 tenths. So that's why we could put the remainder 3 in front of our tenths digit, because now we're going to divide 30 tenths by 4. We can share out 28 of those tenths, with 7 tenths in each group, so that's why the tenths digit of our answer is a 7. But we have a remainder 2. We put that remainder 2 in front of our hundredths digit, because we can change each of our tenths into 10 hundredths. So when we do that, altogether we have 20 hundredths, and we can share out all of those 20 hundredths with 5 hundredths in each group, so that's why we have 5 in the hundredths digit of our answer. Finally, we had 11 divided by 2. We can change our 10 into 10 1s and share out 10 of those 1s with 5 in each group. Then we have a remainder 1, but we can write that in front of our tenths digit to give us 10 tenths, and we know that 1 whole can be exchanged for 10 tenths. Then, when we share out those tenths between our 2 groups, we get 5 tenths in each group, so that's why we have 5 as the tenths digit of our answer, 5.5. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that was helpful. If you're a teacher or a parent, then please subscribe or go to keystage2maths.com to download resources for this lesson and many more. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.